Hi there, it's Karen here from Turquoise Treasures. I'm back with you today to work on my the cover of my travel journal. But I just thought I'd quickly show you the few bits I made after the camera was turned off with doing the wax seals from the last video. I think you saw all of these. These were the clusters that I did that I thought might work in this travel journal. So I've got all these, the 3 clusters, and these banners, some of which are more successful than others. That one I like. I like that. I think that's really pretty, but that's more botanical really rather than sea. I'll put that in the box. These ones, well, this one wasn't very successful. I sort of lost half of it there. These ones were okay. So you saw these anyway. And then I made a few clusters off camera. I think you saw this one. This was the one with the doves, which I really like, the way that the 2 colours went together. This one you haven't seen. This is, I just thought it was really pretty. Vintage lady. I think I got a kit from somebody. I can't remember who. I'm really sorry. So although that didn't turn out brilliantly in that it's kind of, you lost a bit of hair, I think it goes really nicely with the lace, and I think it just works quite well with the colours. And this one, I actually had to redo this one. I took off the one I did. I actually didn't like it because it has gone a bit funny at the sides, and I don't know. And also I realised I had the rows upside down. So I tore that one off and then redid it with this one and did the wax seal again, and it turned out somewhat better. I mean, it's a bit thick here, but the colours are really good. So that's the one. So that's that one. And also I also then worked out how to do those ribbon embellishments I was talking about, the ones I was trying to do and failed. So this is the one that I think I might use on my cover because the colours are good, and I'm really pleased with how that one turned out. I made quite a few in the end. I got a bit carried away. So there's a nice red one. There's a blue one. That one didn't work out quite so well. I think I hadn't got enough ribbon. I think I cut them a bit short, some of them. So this is more of like a maroony coloured one. That's worked out quite well. Purple one come out quite well too. Quite like the purple one. It's got its gold with some purple bits. I think I used 1 purple pellet. If you remember, I only had 3. So I was very mean with it. So I used, I think it was some sort of dark gold or brassy coloured, the other 2, and 1 purple. And it just had enough purple in it, I think, just to work really well. Did I do any others? There's another one. There's a pink one here. It's very pink, but I think that looked quite nice as well. Again, I think I cut some of these ribbons a bit short. I cut them first instead of doing them and then cutting them. I cut them first, and I think that was the wrong thing to do. Oh, there's one more here. There's a blue and white stripe with the blue that went with the white one that went a bit weird shape. So mixed results really there. Anyway, I'll get on with what the plan is for today. So let's put these back in my box. Out the way. Okay, so although I really like the 2 clusters, I've been playing around, and I don't think they're going to work on the front of the journal, you know, on the front of the cover. But I shall definitely try and use them inside somewhere. Oh, and this one as well. Yeah, not that one. Right, so since the last video that I showed you where I did the 2 insides with the Tim Holtz tissue paper. I don't even know if I mentioned that it was Tim Holtz tissue paper. I have a feeling I may not have, but you probably get it anyway. So this you've seen. What I then did off camera was go ahead and cover the back and the front just with the fabric. So this is the back, and I've also put in the eyelets. Don't know that I should do any more to this because it's the back, so it probably is fine as it is. And I just like this fabric. I thought it worked really well in this journal. I think it looks, I mean, in my mind it looks slightly nautical in its design. You might think I'm a bit weird. And then I've done the same on the front, so literally just covered it with the fabric because that's not something that is particularly exciting to watch. I haven't done the eyelets on here in case I need to put something over the holes to complete the picture, which I may well do, and then I'll have to make new holes, and then I'll do the eyelets at the end. What I did also do was to sew around. I don't know if you can see, I've sewn around them. This one I've sewn around perfectly successfully. As soon as I turned off the camera last time, I realised I'd made life difficult for myself because I couldn't sew along the edge. Certainly at the bottom I couldn't. I thought, oh, I should have done it before I put the pocket on, but I didn't think of it. So that was foolish, but I managed to get around these two sides, couldn't sew along the bottom, and I just did a single stitch along the edge. Whereas what I would normally do on all my other pages, I actually do the straight stitch. So I completely messed it up really. I normally do the straight stitch along by the holes and the zigzag stitch the other side, but I did the straight stitch this side, and I forgot that I normally do a straight stitch on this side, so I did that as a zigzag, but it doesn't really matter. It's only a very pale grey and you can barely see it anyway, but at least I know it's all nice and firmly sewn down, apart from this little bit at the bottom, which is fine. So what I want to do today, and it's going to involve possibly turning the camera on and off several times because there's going to be drying involved. It's sort of mixed media-y, but not, I mean, I'm not using paints or anything, just lots of different types of glue, I suppose. I've been playing around, so I've got an idea of how I want this to go, because I know it'll take a while to do, and if I don't know where I'm going with it, it could just take forever. I've got this beautiful dark teal lace, and I really want to use that along the side. That's a given, it has to be lace on the cover. And the other thing I was particularly keen to use was this cut out from the paper pad of the Lady Vagabond. She's a bit on the small size, but I think I can make it work. So I've been playing with some of the other pieces and bits and pieces that I've got. So I've got the little set of suitcases as well. These were all, I think, on the die cut sheet at the back, so it was just to be cut round. So she wasn't from one of the main pages because I'd already used the big one in one of the pages. So I thought I really must use her on the front because she was the one that inspired the whole journal, so she's got to go on the front of it. And the suitcases, I've just tried out, I've Mod Podged the suitcases to make it a bit more, to protect it. But what I want to do with her, to make her stand out a bit more, I want to put glossy accents on her. And I suspect that's going to take a while for that to dry, so I may end up finishing this tomorrow. But the other thing I want to put on here, so I've been playing around with different backgrounds and things, because obviously if I just put her on there, she's going to disappear, isn't she? Just proves that the colour's quite good though, because she goes really well. So I needed something to back her with. So I think I'm going to use this. This was the last piece, the last of the houses that I'd cut out. Used some of the others on another page. So I want to put that here. So whether I'll do it so that, I might do it so that I actually have a hole. Have to cut the hole out. And I will Mod Podge that as well. But my idea is, at the moment, is that she's going to go there. And then the suitcases will be behind her there, like so. That's the plan. And I've also got some of these little chipboard, they're very thin chipboard, lantern. And I'm thinking we're in old London, maybe a lantern would be really good. I did have a much taller one, which would have been perfect. Got this one here, but I've already used it on a project some time ago. So, I mean, I'd forgotten I had some of these things, and I think I really must try and get out some of my chipboard. I've got a drawer full, and try and use it, particularly on covers. And I want to emboss it, so I'm going to be doing a few different things today. And so this is going to get embossed, so I thought I could put that there, even though it's a little short, it kind of goes. I don't know if I could put it any higher, because then it would look a bit odd, I think, if I haven't got anything for it to stand on. So I might just have to put that there. Like that, something like that. I did wonder as well about this one. I've got another one here, and I want, maybe I could put it above here, sort of in front of that. So that kind of covers that corner. And then what I was going to do, which I've now, where's it gone? I lost my little ribbon thing. Did I put it in the box? I may have done. by mistake. I really wanted to use, there it is, yeah. I really want to use that. Just because, having gone to all the trouble of doing all these wax seals, I really wanted to use something on the front, and this one worked quite well, so I thought that would look quite nice there. And then I've got a little bit of, I want to put a sort of title on here as well. So that's the kind of plan. So let's get started, because I'm not sure which bit to do first really. Perhaps I'll just stick down the lace first, then I know that's done, because that's got to go on there. And then I need to do some work on some of these things. So as I say, I might have to do some of the work and then come back when it's all dry. But first I'm going to put the lace down, just because that'll be something I can finish. You know, that'll be a good start. So let's just work out where it needs to have the glue. I want it sticking out a little bit at the front. So yeah, I've been thinking about how I'm going to do this this cover for a little while. Some of the things I knew I wanted to put on, but you know, it's always a bit risky just putting something made out of card or paper on the front, because you just think it could easily tear, and how do I preserve it, make it a bit more robust and things. And I was sort of umming and ahhing about using the glossy accents. I was a bit worried I didn't have enough, but actually the little bottle I've got is almost full, so I think I'll be fine for quantity. So I think it'll work out perfectly well. And I think it'll make her stand out a little bit from the page if she's just that little bit shinier than what's around her in the background. So, ooh. Just a little bit more, just to make sure. It's got to take a little bit more care, I suppose, with the cover, to make sure everything is nice and firmly adhered and is not going to come off or tear or something like that. Right. Very gluey now. Okay, so I can set that aside to dry while I get on with doing some other things. So I think I better do the Mod Podging of this piece next, as I already did the suitcases just to see how it worked out. So I've got my paintbrush just staying wet here. And actually that bit won't take very long to dry, I don't think. Whoops. It'll be the glossy accents that takes the time. So I'm just going to just brush it all over. Whoop. A nice big brush, so it shouldn't take very long for this to get covered. There we are. Whoop. I want it to be nice and smooth. We don't want to see any horrible brush strokes. Alright, so that piece is covered. I'm going to set that aside there. Just quickly cover up my Mod Podge. That's one little job done. So I'll do the glossy accents next, and then I'll do the embossing. That's something I haven't done on screen before. That's exciting. I haven't done any embossing for a long time, but it's always very exciting to do. I think I'm going to do it. I was thinking whether to do the little lamppost. I think I'll do it black. I think that would be the best colour to do. So right, let's hope this goes well, because I haven't got another one. If I had the chipboard pack, it'd probably be better to use that, but I didn't get that. I don't think I even knew there was such a thing as a chipboard pack. and but I think it's going to be fine to use this. I hope. I should lay it down really. Right, I've given her a really good coat of the glossy accents. I still think it might need a bit of touching up, but I think I need to put her aside now to dry. So I'm just going to sit her on top of my little box, out of harm's way, over there, while I get on with the next thing. And I think that's going to be doing a bit of embossing. It's exciting. As I say, I haven't done this for a long while. I've got my heat gun attached, but I need to get my embossing stuff out. I've got some black embossing powder. Okay, so I've got my little tray. Never used it before. It's a new one, but I had in mind that I was going to be doing some embossing on this, so I prepared. But I have no idea how it'll turn out because it's been so long since I've done this. So we'll have to see. This pad's quite old as well. It seems to have got bits of glitter and stuff on it. And hopefully it's still got a bit of juice. Bit of embossing juice, I hope. Try and get it as covered as I can. Just see how it works. Oh, it's quite lumpy. What's that? Shows you how long it is since I've had it out. It's got a bit lumpy. I don't think it matters. Now, tweezers. I don't know my tweezers. Right, moment of truth. Has the powder stuck? Oop. Ooh, appears to have done. So I'll move that out of the way. But where to? Okay, I usually end up with a mountain next to me where I've moved things aside. And it's happening again. Never mind, I've got to bring it back in a moment. So let's just see how this looks. Right, I think that's come out quite well. I'm thinking it possibly could do with a second coat though. Just feel it could do with just being that little bit blacker, if that makes sense. Just slightly better coverage, particularly on the main stem. So I'm just going to give it one more go, but I think it's come out pretty well. I'm quite pleased how it's all dry so quick. I just think watching the powder change to that sort of shiny embossed finish look is just magic. Really ought to do it more often. I'm just going to press this down into the powder in the tray. It's like pressing it into soot. It's quite weird. Okay, one last blast. Yeah. Just give it a wipe. Right, that is gorgeous. Oh, love it. Right, but do the other one. It's worked out really well. Okay, do the same. Seemed to work all right. It feels sticky to the touch, so I think even though it's quite old, this pad has lasted quite well. And because this chipboard is so thin, it just presses nicely into the pad. I think I've got everything covered. I might just lay it in here. Just brush it through. Right, give it a little shake. Ooh, just a bit on the stem on the pole, whatever you want to call it. It just seemed to be a bit missing. I might have to do the two coats on this as well. See how it turns out. Okay, let's go again. Alright, I'm not sure this one will need a second coat. Looks pretty good. There we are. Let's see if I can give this a bit of a wipe. I think I have to scrape this now because all the bits of powder that went onto the mat have now been converted into little hard bits of enamel, or whatever it is that it becomes when it's heated up. Never mind. I'll be able to clean that afterwards, I suppose. Hopefully be able to get most of that off. Right. Okay, so that's one little job done, which I wasn't sure how it would go, but I'm quite happy with how they've turned out. So how are we doing? We've Mod Podged our cardboard items. I've now got black stuff all over my hands. I'm going to give them another clean. Right. So can we stick any of these things on? I think possibly we can. Right, let's see. Let's get my heat gun out the way. Not going to need that again. And I want to, that's going to go about here. So I need to mark where the holes have got to go. It's still a little bit tacky. Let's just get a pencil. They don't look as if they're quite evenly spaced, so let me just try again. What I might do is just put a paper clip. Now, there was one looking around. Yes, here it is. Because I think it moved when I turned it over. So let's just put this where I want it, quite near the bottom. And then put my big paper clip on so that it holds it in place. Right, now I'll do the holes. they should be evenly spaced from the side this time. Can you see it? Oh, there it is. Right. Oh, really near the edge there. Okay. Alright, so I've got my little eyelets and my big machine. Let's do my holes. So make sure I don't put the holes in the right spot, not in the old holes that I made before. Okay, now I've just got to put them in the right place to get the eyelets in, and I can do that now because I'm not going to be putting anything more over that space. So my eyelets are here. Just got to make sure I get the same colours I used on the back. And it was these ones. I think for the front and the back I've decided to use these bigger ones. Well, they're not, the holes aren't bigger, it's just got a bigger area around it. Is that the same one? Yes, it is. Okay. That goes there. Oh, I need to stick. I probably should stick this down first, shouldn't I? That would be a good idea. I think Fabri-Tac is what is going to be required as I'm sticking to fabric. Just bear with 10 minutes while the glue comes down into the nozzle. Alright, that should do it. Once I've got the eyelets in, it's not going to go anywhere anyway, but I don't want it coming up at the sides. Looks like I need a bit more under that corner. Probably under the bottom together. Right. I hope that's thoroughly stuck. I can always poke a bit of, maybe a bit of art glitter glue after, under any little areas that look like they're not quite stuck down. That's what I'm looking for. Lay that down, I'm going to need it again. Okay, time to put the eyelets in. Right, here we go, just line it up. And press. There we go. There's one. Where'd the other one go? I'm just wondering, is that going to go? Ooh, it's not going to fit unless I do it there. I haven't thought about that. Never mind. I may and may not be able to use that one. I may put it somewhere else. Where's the hole? There it is. But you can't ignore the holes. They've got to go where they've got to go. Let's hope that one caught. It did indeed. Well, well, well. This machine is so good. It's the We Are Memory Keepers Big Bite is what it's called. And it's amazing. When you haven't got much grip, so I can't use the handheld one that everybody else uses, or a lot of people use, I've seen. That one's no good to me because I can't grip it and squeeze it hard enough, but that one, fantastic. The only other person I've seen that uses that one regularly is Pam at the Paper Outpost. She uses hers even more than I do, I think. Okay. Right, now the next thing is I can't put my lady on, so until I've got her in place I better not put this on either, because putting that down will depend on where she is, so I'll have to leave that. What I can do next is my little title. I think that's what I will do. Okay, so let's put that aside. Now my plan is, and I don't know for sure how it'll look or if it'll work, if I'll be happy with it, but I'm going to do like a little banner or label and I'm going to stamp it. I've got my little letters all ready with the legend "Adventure Awaits," which I thought would be nice to have on the front, because that's what it's all about. Having an adventure, I think, is really a travel adventure. So I just want to do "Adventure Awaits." I'm hoping it'll all fit. I've just backed a piece of the I think this is just some coffee dyed paper that I probably, a digital kit, probably Rachel's coffee dyed papers that I've just I had printed onto normal paper and I've backed onto a piece of white card, so it'll be nice and sturdy. I've decided to use my blue archiver link for a change because it's new. I've only just got it, and so I'm going to use it. And I have, where's my little, there it is, little block. I've got all my letters, so I've just stuck them to this Dilutions block. This is a stamp block, a nice thin one. It's really good for big stamps, but it's very handy just to put the letters, when in between when you're not using them. So I've got the A's already on there. That's handy. So I'm just going to see how this goes. I have tried it out. I'll show you. But I did it on white, and I decided I didn't think the white was quite right, but that's how it's going to look, which I think looks really nice. And that's the idea, is but then I'm going to put awaits in a different font underneath, smaller. And I'm going to cut it into some sort of label shape, or not quite sure what. If it doesn't work out, I'll do it again off camera until I'm happy with it. So I need to give myself plenty of room. It's a fairly long word. So far so good. Got the A on. Just going to use my glue book just to stamp off. Sorry, just get this out of the way a little bit. I didn't get myself organised enough, did I? Thought I had. Right. Hang on, where's my D gone? I think I'll turn this around, that's why all the letters are not where I thought they were. That's better. This is the D, yeah. B. And if you put them close enough, it looks like they're joined up. Such a lovely stamp set. It's really old. I'll show you the stamp set. It's, I don't know if you can ever be able to find it. It's by somebody called Inspirations, and it's a beautiful font. And you've got the uppercase and the lowercase. I mean, I had it for years. It's a really nice stamp set. Used it loads. But I haven't done a lot of stamping. Like a lot of these things, these are all things I haven't done for a long time. Embossing, stamping. It's quite good to sometimes get some of your old products out and give them a new outing. Make sure I've got the N up the right way. That's it. That. There. Well, that's come out all right. Okay, and then we've got awaits. So this is just another little stamp set that I've had for a long time. Much more not quite such a curly, fancy font. It's a simpler font. I'm expecting a phone call any minute, so if it rings, I will have to suddenly break off and then I'll come back. Hope it doesn't come while I'm doing this. Last letter. Done. Excellent. Right, so now I've got to decide how I'm going to, what shape I'm going to do. So I'll be back when I've had time to think and I've had my phone call. Might even be back tomorrow when my lady is dried, and then I'll be able to put it all together. So yeah, I'm quite pleased how that's turned out. Right, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I've now just cut my little label down to kind of fit somewhere like that, and I really like that. In fact, against the coffee dye background, the colour of the blue almost matches the colour of the lace, which is quite a happy accident. So I just wanted to do something about the edges. Rather than rounding them, I thought what I'd do is do them like inverted circles, if you see what I mean. What I meant was, if I'm going to put this in like this and just clip the corner like that, and I'm going to do the same on all four, and I thought that just looked a little bit, just makes the corners a little bit more interesting. I've got little cornery bits flying everywhere. Oops. Okay, and the last little one. Put it out properly so I can see what I'm doing. Okay. So there we are, and I think I might just ink around this. Just very lightly. So you can't see any white. Now I'm just wondering whether I should Mod Podge this. probably should. Obviously I've put my Mod Podge away, but it's not that hard to get it back out again. So what I thought I'd do is I could put it kind of there, and then have my little, maybe pushed slightly up a bit. I just thought I want it to fit like that. Just have that going over that, like so, I think. Something like that. But I guess I better Mod Podge it. I think I'll test it out first on the other one I did, on the prototype, because I don't know if the ink will run. This is archival ink. Should be okay, but I'm going to check it out first. And then I'll I'll come back when it's done. I think that might be the safest thing to do. In fact, what I'll do now, you've seen that finished. I'll have to come back when it's time to put everything back together, which in my time will be tomorrow, because my lady has to dry. I keep having to touch her up where where a little bit pitted here and there where the glue hasn't lain completely flat, so it's a little bit kind of strange looking, but hopefully it'll be fine when it's all dry. So I'll be back ready to stick all this on, I think, any minute now. Okay, I'm back. It's the next morning, and my Lady Vagabond has all dried. It's not as smooth as I'd have liked, in that the glue is a bit lumpy bumpy, but it's, you know, she's all nice and sealed. I may do a little bit of touching up, but I think part of the problem is I kept touching it up, and now I've got some places where there's some dips and some bumps, and anyway, we'll see how it looks when it's all put together. What I want to do first of all is to put her on a little piece. I've got some foam here. I've got a whole pack of it, but I think this will be enough to raise her up a little bit, so that she's just sitting a little. It's only thin, quite thin, very. So it'll only just raise her up just that little bit. But I thought that would work quite well. So I'm just going to cut a piece off. And so that middle piece might fit. I'll just cut it to size, and then I'll patch it. I used this stuff a lot when I was scrapbooking, just to raise photographs up a little bit. Just give them a, so they just give them a bit more prominence. So I'll have to actually make sure I avoid the little holes between her arms, otherwise you'll see purple. So if I could put that about there. And let's come in a bit more there. And then shape it in there as well. Let's see if that works. We don't want to see any purple between her arms. Don't know which way round I had it now. Is that a better way? So that goes. I'll just bring them both in a little bit more, just to make sure. Right down to the bottom there, then it just goes up through her middle there. That should work. Now there's a little, just tidy it. Oops, flipping me, my lanterns everywhere. Right. So that goes there. Then we need a little strip for her dress. Right, so there she is, all patched up. That took a fair while to do, so I've edited pretty well all of it out, because you really didn't need to see me making these little tiny pieces. Look at all the trimmings I've got. So yeah, it took a little while, but it needed to have proper coverage, otherwise she would start to sag in some areas. So I've checked and you can't see any of the purple from the other side, so that's good. So let's get her stuck onto here. So I think the first thing I have to do is stick down my suitcases. So I've just got to position it. So if I put her where I want her, and then I will just pop this in behind, I think. I'm going to use the Fabri-Tac as it's going onto fabric. It's got a bit curly, but it'll be fine when it's stuck down. Oh, this is very gunky. I should have cleaned it, I think. Yeah, really gunked up in the nozzle. It's not good. How are you going to come out? Right, I had to do a little bit of work off camera to get the glue to start flowing, but I think it's coming out now. Not fast, but it is coming out. Just got to give it a bit more of a squeeze. Really gone super thick for some reason. Okay, I'm just going to have to do some more. Okay, I've finally got my bottle of Fabri-Tac to start flowing. It's actually taken about 20 minutes of working, clearing it out. It was so gunked up, I had to get this Goo Gone stuff in there and several of these cotton buds and have a good old clearer. It was so gunked up, my nozzle, that it wasn't surprising that nothing was coming out. So I'm hoping now, she says, we'll give it one last try. I've got other things to do with my day than to sit here squeezing this bottle with for no effect. No. Okay, not going to work. Let's try this. Let's just hope that this will stick to the fabric. I think it will. We have had certain success with it before, but not on fabric, more on lace and things. I'm hoping it'll be okay. At least it's coming out. Right, so, oops, get it the right way up. Now, I forgot what I was doing. It's been so long since I started this video. Started this, even this session. It feels like it was ages ago. About there, that'd be fine. Okay, let's see. Let's hope after all that it sticks. Seems to be doing okay. And this I think will be alright with the art glitter glue because it's going to mostly, or a lot of it will go on the cardstock. There we are. So she's going to go there. Let's get this done. I think I've spent long enough working on this cover now. It feels like it's been, well, it has been a 2-day process. And I'm liking the way it's going. It just seems to be taking forever. Okay, let's get you on there, Missy. Ready for your travels. Glue bits everywhere. Let's just hold it down for a moment. Okay, so she's on. Right, what's next? My little lanterns, I think. So I'm thinking one can just go up there, I think. That will just sit there. And one can sit here. I like those. I like the way they're opposite each other. I mean, they're after proportion. I mean, we have to have a bit of artistic license here. They're not in proportion to anything else, but and this isn't We're not aiming at a reality here. No. At least with the art glitter glue I can get these a fine line along these little fiddly bits, little filigree bits around the lamp. And what's that? Got a bit of hair. Okay, let's put that about there. Yep. Just got endless lumps of silicone glue stuck to me. Never mind. I'll have to have another play with that Fabri-Tac off camera, won't I? Even though I have played with it off camera for some time, it's still not working. Okay, I'm going to have to do some serious editing on this video because I think there's loads of areas that I need to cut out, otherwise it's going to go on forever. So it still may end up being a bit longer than I would have liked, but I will try and cut out any extraneous things that you really don't need to watch. A lot of boring. There's probably a lot of boring bits in this video. Okay. Let's stick that there. There we are. That's on there. Right, now I've got my adventure awaits, and I've got my little ribbon thingy box it, which will be the last thing to go on. I was considering, so that can sort of go there, I think. Or does it need to go a bit further? Does it need to go under there, maybe? Don't know. I think I've got this a little further over than I had intended. It's a case of how this will fit together. Actually, almost looks like a little piece of chipboard, which is quite interesting. It feels chipboardy because it's quite stiff with the Mod Podge on it. So I could put that like that. I was thinking about putting some gold around the edge, but I don't know. And I've got my little gold metallic luster stuff, but I think I haven't got gold anywhere else. I'm not sure it'll really work. So I think I won't do that. So I think, just wondering how to put that like that, whether this would be better in the middle of the page. It looks a bit, I don't know, whichever way I end up with a weird looking gap, don't I? Well, I don't know, weird looking, but a bit of a space either in the middle or at the top. Maybe I'll put that like that. I think it doesn't matter if there's a bit of a space in the middle. And I might think of something else to add in there, I don't know. You can overdo it, I know. So I'm going to stick this on. At least the art glitter glue is working with me today. At least that's nice that I'm not struggling with that glue as well. Usually it's, well, quite often it's the art glitter glue that I struggle with. So fortunately not today. So I'm just going to sort of fit that into that little space there, like that. Let's see where this is going to go, and this is going to just go across that little corner there. Now I really wanted to use the Fabri-Tac for that. Just wonder if it'll work. I'll have one last go, see if I can get it to come out. Are you going to come out to play today? Or are we just given up on me completely? I wonder whether to take the nozzle off. Shall I do that? Take the nozzle off, just get a little blob of glue on the back of this. It'll probably spill out everywhere. That's what happened last time I took the nozzle off. It just went. Okay, so I'm at the ready. I'm just going to put a little tiny. It's not coming out at all now. What's going on with this stuff? Yeah, of course it was going to do that. Big blob. Okay, I think I just about caught it. And I'm just going to stick this on quick before anything more disastrous happens. There we are. Got it. Because I think it needed something like that to stick this boy on. Alright. Put that to one side for now. Deal with that later. Right, I think that's it for certainly for today. So thank you for sticking with me and all my traumas with the Fabri-Tac. I'll have to think about whether I need to do any more work on her, but I think at the moment I'm quite happy with the general arrangement of the front cover. I want to do a little pocket on the back cover, but I haven't got time for that today. So in the next video I might make another page, or I might just do a little bit more work in it. I'll see what needs to be done. Thank you for joining me today. Bye for now.